Hello, today I'm going to provide you with a brief tutorial on using historical abstracts, a database that is available through the University of South Carolina's library. You can access the database by searching the library's A to Z database page, located here. You'll log in with your school username and password. Historical Abstracts is a bibliographic database. Like the name implies, it provides abstracts of works. However, full text and links to full text are provided when available. This database focuses on world history, excluding the United States and Canada. So, if you're looking for information regarding the United States or Canadian history, this database is not for you. Instead, you may want to try America History and Life or even Academic Search Complete. The database includes information on world history from 1450 to the present. It contains abstracts from over 2,000 journals and includes essays, books, dissertations, conference papers, and more in a variety of languages. It is updated on a monthly basis. The USC Library lists the database as one of the top history databases and as a best bet when doing history research. Before doing a search, I want to point out two helpful resources the database provides. Like America History and Life, Historical Abstracts provides a Clio Notes section that users can consult. The Clio Notes tab is located at the top of the page. As we can see, this section provides thorough coverage of the major time periods throughout history, and has broken these periods down further by geographic location. For instance, not only can we see what was going on in 19th century Europe, but also in the Middle East, Asia, Latin America, and Africa. To get an idea of what information Clio Notes provides, let's click on 19th century Europe. Here, the 19th century is broken down into major themes and topics you can explore. So we have boundaries and conflicts and nation building, expanding overseas, colonization and imperialism, the Industrial Revolution and technology, and culture, society, and ideology. Within these themes, you can find additional information including summaries and subject headings that can link to related material in the database. Clio Notes is a great tool to use to get a basic overview of a historical topic or time period. Even if you are very familiar with the subject you're researching, I would recommend taking a look at this section before you start, just to have some refreshers. Another helpful tool is the index that the database provides. I would highly recommend that you explore a database's index before starting your search. It shows you the terms used to index material within the database, and it can also help you build your search. To get to the index section, you go to the menu at the top of the page, click on More, and then Indexes. So let's try to use the index to build a search. As you can see, there are indexes for several subject areas. You can search for geographic terms, you can search for people, but for this search, we're going to use subject terms. Since we've already been looking at the Industrial Age, let's do a search to see what women's roles were in the Industrial Revolution. First, we will need to locate the subject term for Industrial Revolution. So we will type in Industrial Revolution and click Browse. Here are the ways that Industrial Revolution has been indexed. As we can see, the term has been used over 1,000 times. To use this in my search, I'm going to check this box. And before we hit Add, we have to decide what kind of search we are going to perform. We can choose from and, or, or not. Because we want to see women's role in the Industrial Revolution, we will choose and then click Add. And as you can see up here, the database has begun to build our search. Now let's search for women. And we'll hit Browse. As you can see, the term women has been indexed over 16,000 times. So we're going to click women and hit Add. And now we're going to hit Search. So this search brought back 26 results. As you can see, some of these articles have full text availability and some do not. Now let's go back to the main search page. When searching in this database and many others, you have two search interfaces you can use. You've got the basic search, and you also have the advanced search option. So in this database, the two search pages are very similar, but the advanced search page does give a few more options on limiting and shaping your search. So for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to use the advanced search page. The database provides several limiters to use to shape a search. Using limiters allows you to pick and choose what kind of results you want to receive and helps narrow down your results to material that is relevant to your needs. So let's take a look at some of the limiters that are available. You can search by published date, so if you know a month and a year range, you can put that in. You can also search by publication, so if you know the name of the publication it's in, you can search for that. You can search by document type. Say, for instance, you wanted material that comes from a book review. You can search for only book reviews. You can click and say that you want material that has references available. You can also search for peer-reviewed material. You can also search by the historical period the material covers. So perhaps I wanted to locate material that was on what was going on in Europe during the American Revolution. I can limit the date at the time covered from 1775 to 1783 by simply typing it in. You can also choose what kind of publication you are looking for material from, or what language. So I can narrow this down and say that I wanted material only from newspapers, or I want material only in Chinese. If we go back up to the top, here we can change how the database searches for your search string. I tend to leave this on Boolean phrases, which allows me to build searches with and, or, and not. But we also can change it to find all of my search terms, find any of my search terms, or smart text searching, which allows you to input a phrase or a sentence or a whole paragraph or even a whole page. However, the thing that I like the most about the advanced search is that it gives you multiple boxes to type your search terms in, and it almost helps you build your search. So let's clear this and do a new search. Let's pretend that we wanted to discover information relating to women in the textile industry. Like we did before, we could go up to the index and look for the index terms on this topic, or we can just type our terms in and hit search. The search gives us the option to search for a particular field, but I'm just going to leave this blank and hit search. So this was a search for textile industry and women. Depending on our search, we could have changed this to or not, but and was appropriate for this one. So this search string brought back 281 results, which is quite a bit. As you can see, there are some results that are in foreign languages. And it just seems like it's going to be a lot to sift through. Much like the advanced search page, however, we can continue to refine our results to make it easier to narrow down to the material we need. So for instance, I might want to say that I want this to be a peer-reviewed source. And I might want to scroll down and say that I want material that is published only in English. As you can see, this limited us to 168 results. I'm also going to go and choose to limit to only results that have links to full text. Okay, so now we have 122 results. So you can scroll through and you can look for something that is relevant to your needs. So for instance, maybe gender work and resistance, South Korean textile industry in the 1970s is something that you are interested in. If so, you can click on this link. And it's going to bring you to the page for this material. It's going to give you some subject terms. It's going to give you the abstract of the paper. If you want to download the paper, you just click on PDF full text. And you can choose to download it or to print it, or you can read it on the screen. Again, here's another option to print. You can choose to email it to yourself. You can add it to a folder. This will help you cite the article. As you can see, it provides citations in a number of methods. I will warn you that while this is helpful, you should always double check the citation because they are not always completely accurate, but it is a good tool to start with. This little icon will give you the permalink for the paper, which is really helpful when you are citing the paper, especially if you cannot locate a DOI for the article. So we're going to go back to the result list, and you can continue looking for articles that are relevant to your needs. As you sift through the results, you might decide you want to narrow your search further, perhaps by geographic location or time period. You might decide that you want to reformat your search completely, or you might decide you want to search by index subject terms or by a particular search field instead. That is okay. The more you explore and experiment with the database, the more effective the database will be. I encourage you to take some time to explore historical abstracts on your own. Rest assured that if you need assistance, your local librarians will be more than happy to help you.